I've been looking for a mobile DJ rig for 4 years now, and what I landed on finally, after that 4-year trial and error, renting, buying, selling, is the Yorkville EX1, also known as the Xcursion 1000. It's a very unique system, it's very portable, it's got a lot of volume, it puts out a lot of dB, and it's ideal for me. So I'll run over it quickly. This is a 15-inch sub, 650 watt, 80 pounds, very manageable for me to carry by myself. It's got the typical metal grill on the front that Yorkville always has, some corner protection, a handle on the top and the bottom, speaker pole mount, and we'll look at the back here. Just spin this around. There we go. So we have XLR in, or 1/4 inch in, gains for each of the speakers and the sub, and speakon outputs. So the 2 speakon outputs go to the speakers, the mid-high cabinets, and all 3 amps are housed inside of this. So that's why this sub is 80 pounds, because it has a 15-inch subwoofer, a driver in it, and it also houses all 3 amps and a crossover limiter and thermal protection and all the electronics. It is fan cooled. I've pushed it very hard for great periods of time, like 5 hours at a time, maybe longer, and it's never overheated, and I've never heard the fan come on, but maybe it comes on and I don't even hear it. It has a detachable IEC power cord, which is nice, and it's got these funky looking knobs all over it, and that's because this becomes the top. You flip this forward, put it on a dolly, a cart with 4 casters on it, and then you stack the speakers on top and you strap it together and move it around and that kind of stuff. And it's cool in theory, and it's especially good if you don't have any stairs to deal with, but I find a lot of times I'm bringing it up from my basement, putting it in the car, and maybe going up and down a few stairs when I finally get to where I'm going. So I like to just move them all separately like this. And the size that this is, it's very manageable for me. It would be especially manageable with a hand cart and or a second person, but you know, on my own I can actually handle it. So the amps are in here. The 2 speakon cables go to these mid-highs right here. That's an 8-inch woofer and a horn, and if I spin this around so we can look at the back, there we go. So they're 150 watt each. They're made to work with this system, and it says, yeah, right there, use only with the Xcursion 1000. Yorkville Elite. So they call this a satellite speaker. So they're basically passive speakers because, again, the amps are in here. So when I'm talking about the EX1000, or sorry, EX1, what I'm talking about is this sub and those 2 speakers. It does not include these 2 speakers here, which I use to fill in the higher frequencies and to also use as monitors. But this system with these 2 speakers here and this sub, just alone they sound great. And Yorkville says up to 300 people. I think that's being a little generous if you're talking about dance music or something like that. I would say more on the order of 100 people, depending on the room, depending on the people, depending on the crowd, and all that kind of thing. But yeah, that's basically the system here, is that sub and these 2 speakers. They're, like I said, 150 watt each, and they have no handles on them. They're very tiny. Let me look at the size of these. Yeah, I think they're 12 by 17 by 12, and that makes them very manageable. They're very light. They're 17 pounds each, and the sound is really good from these. I really enjoy this system. I thought I'd share that with you. It's perfect for mobile. I could see it even being good for a smaller band application, and the woofer I found has been better for me than an LS720p or the NX720p. I think it goes deeper. It seems like it's a better sound. I could not be satisfied with even 2 720ps. So while this actually satisfies what I like for bass, my minimum of bass, this is the very minimum here, it satisfies my bass needs for sure. So, and I'm a bass monster, I'm really picky about my bass, so it's, of course, it's got a nice tight punch because it's a 15-inch, but it does have those warm rolling lows that I love so much. So there we go. That is the Yorkville EX1, or the Elite Xcursion 1000. They don't make them anymore. You can only find them used. The cool thing about these is that they're Yorkville, which is made in Canada. They have an excellent reputation. They're a very solid, rugged, reliable speaker. And Long & McQuaid sells Yorkville, deals with Yorkville. It's most of their rentals are Yorkville, and parts are super easy to get, and they will actually service them for you. So when you're thinking about buying a used Yorkville, it's pretty cool that they're made very close to where I live. I live in Oshawa, and they're made in Pickering, and the fact that pretty much every Long & McQuaid can order any part you want for this, and they will probably be able to get it for you at a reasonable price. So that's super cool. And for the price point, these go anywhere from, I would say $600 Canadian to $1,200 used. And for that price point, I don't think that there's any system that will compare to this. Let's look at a 720p. That's around $600-700. And then what are you going to pair that with? Maybe some NX55Ps. You're looking at another $700. So, you know, you're starting low at $1,400 for a somewhat comparable system. I know they're very different, but if you're looking at what you could buy for $700 to $1,100, that would be comparable to this EX1. I don't know what's out there for that, especially something that's designed to work together and is tuned and calibrated to be a, you know, plug and play system. You just plug in your XLRs or 1/4 inch and one power cord and you're done. You're off. So there you go. I rambled on a lot about that, but it's a system that I really like. I thought that I'd share that with you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.